YouTube? This is 900 Radio. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. And you know what we do over here at 900 Radio? You know, we drop some cool video reactions and stuff like that. We play a lot of different music, a lot of different genres of music, and from rap to hip hop, old school, oldies, all that different kind of shit like that. So, and what we also like to do, like I told you guys, we're gonna stay tuned and stay tapped in with the music industry. Period. So Tupac is one of my favorite rappers of all time, and we all remember when Tupac, got shot in Vegas, ended up dying a couple weeks, maybe a couple weeks later, behind that situation out there in Las Vegas. You feel me? Well, it was actually a situation from California that, got ended in, I ain't even gonna say ended, because there was a lot of shit that happened after that in the city of Compton, you know what I mean, in my city. But shit that happened in Vegas, you know what I mean, that started in California and spilled over into Las Vegas. You feel me? And I always say this too, like Pac, even fucking with Death Row, Pac should have just stayed on the music tip, like just, and not getting involved in the California and the LA politics and shit like that though. You feel me? But this right here though, this is just like a backstory, animated kind of backstory of what took place in at the MTV Awards. Like this was a few weeks before he got killed, before he got shot, at the MTV Awards with Nas, because him and Nas had a little feud. He dissed Nas on that Machiavelli album. That was supposed to be dropping. It had Nas and some diss shit about Nas, and it was out there. You know what I mean? So this was like the meetup, because the infamous story is that Nas had his goons, his boys up there, and they was ready to get at Pac. So Pac, he had his boys up there, the Outlaws, you know what I'm saying, that came through. So I'm gonna let this video play through, and we gonna, I might pause and react to certain things though, but just a little backstory of kind of the kind of nigga that Pac was, and Pac was a real nigga though when it came down to it, and it was shown in his music and also in the way he, kind of carried himself, though. Some people say he was kind of like schizo because he had so many different sides to him, though. But, hey, the nigga was a Gemini. Shit, the motherfucking Geminis have a lot of different sides to him, though. But we going to get into this video. It's about 14 minutes long, man. So let's chill out and be entertained, man. 900 Radio. Is that right?
It's September 4th, 1996. Tupac just flew into New York City to attend the 96 MTV Awards as a presenter and nominee for Best Rap Video for his #1 hit song, California Love. The rap game is in the middle of a media-influenced East and West Coast beef, with the flames being ignited even more since the release of Hit 'Em Up back in June 4th, 1996. Most New York artists are upset with Tupac ever since he drew the line to pick a side in his beef with Bad Boy, even disrespecting several top New York artists, including one of the top rap group from Queensbridge, Mobb Deep, who was a close associate with another top Queensbridge.
For y'all if y'all don't know about Mobb Deep, man, rest in peace, Prodigy, man. You know what I mean? When they was beefing, no, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a West Coast, but when they was beefing, I wasn't fucking with nothing on the East like that, except I was fucking with Biggie, a lot of Biggie music and shit though. You know what I mean? But it's West Coast.
Bridge rapper Nas, who was celebrating one of his best years since releasing It Was Written back in July, which spawned one of his top songs ever, If I Ruled the World. This made Nas the top artist representing New York and East Coast at the time. He was scheduled for a surprise performance with the Fugees at the award show. Now, it's also Tupac's first time back in his birth state since releasing Hit 'Em Up back in June. Even more, it's the same place he was shot 5 times a year and a half ago. So his team is on high alert for any threats. Suge Knight made sure all of his artists had security, but Tupac back in August requested no further personal security services from Death Row's hired security. So he asked 2 of his outlaw members, Napoleon and Hussein Fatal, to gather.
Hey man, if you guys ain't up on Napoleon and Hussein Fatal, the Outlaws, man, check out Tupac. Go check out the Tupac and the Outlaws album. Man, I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
some of their homeboys from their hoods in nearby New Jersey to beef up security as well. Napoleon had his crew at the hotel who brought a bag full of guns to make sure everyone had protection. Hussein Fatal also reached out to his neighborhood goons to meet them at the hotel as well. Surprisingly, his crew was so big that they packed a full city bus with a line of cars following. Once they arrived at the hotel Death Row was staying at, Tupac's crew told them they can't all come to the award show, but feel free to wait in the rooms and order whatever they want. And they made sure to party, ordering everything they could, from food to champagne and whatever else they had to offer. Before heading out of his room, Tupac gifted Fatal his Death Row chain and a Rolex to wear to the award show. Next, they stopped to get the Dogfather, Snoop Dogg, who just had his hair freshly laid, perm looking silky smooth. Now that the Death Row stars are together, they set to head out to the award show. They split up in separate limos. Snoop and Suge with security got in one, while Tupac and the Outlaws and a few Jersey goons got in their own. Tupac told Fatal, since he already got the bandana on and the jewels like him, to sit by the window so he could get the extra attention from the fans who would think he was him. On the way, Tupac saw a group of baddies, stopped in the limo and asked them, "Who you want?" And the women picked Fatal, which he obliged by getting their digits. Finally arriving at the award show, the two stars of Death Row Records were shining bright. Tupac and Snoop were the pair duo of the evening. Snoop freshly off beating a murder case with a not guilty verdict, with the new focus to take the rap game by storm again. While Tupac is the biggest artist in music at this time, not just rap, coming off of two #1 albums, Me Against the World and All Eyes on Me, also getting praise.
And like I said, man, if you guys not up on Pac, man, Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, man, classics. Classics, my nigga. Classics.
For his known acting skills, with tons of movie role offers coming in, including Jedi Master Mace Windu in an upcoming Star Wars film, making him the most sought after artist at the time. Tupac and Snoop going to take photos and give interviews with the press, while their entourage stood in the entrance waiting. Once done, on the way out, someone from Nas's crew accidentally bumps into Tupac. And he replied, "Yo, when you see me, get on the other side." And the other guy replied, my fault, Pac, my fault." As soon as he got back with his crew, screamed, "Hey, yo, you, Pac." Then Fatal.
That's how a lot of bitch ass niggas do it. Nigga be by theyself, man, and be scared to speak up. As soon as they get with the crowd, nigga, like, hey, man, you ain't shit without your homeboys.
His crew stepped up, ready to set it off. Luckily, without knowing what was going on, Suge with the rest of Death Row Records security stepped in to guide them into the awards show. Both parties then split to head into the event. MTV had a section for the entourage to wait at with food and drinks, while the celebrities would head out to watch the show or backstage to prepare for their parts in the event. Tupac left his crew to head backstage, preparing to present an award with Snoop for Best Hard Rock Video. A few minutes later, Nas with his crew arrived. Next, Nas left them to head backstage to prepare for his performance. While waiting to present the award backstage, Tupac and Nas crossed paths. Nas said to Tupac, "Hey, do your thing." Tupac replied, "And you do yours." During the same time, Nas's brother, Jungle, was at the bar macking to a beautiful lady who said she was there with Death Row, just waiting on them. A flirting Jungle said, Death Row, I'll snatch one of their chains if I see them. Suggested she should instead go with him. Next, the young lady noticed security from Death Row walking over to escort her to their section. She warned Jungle, "You won't keep that same energy when they come over here." In which Jungle stepped in, saying, "She's with me. Mobb Deep is in the house, and I'll take a Death Row chain off your neck. It's Queensbridge." Ignoring the threats, they walked away with the young lady. At this time, Tupac and Snoop are on stage presenting their award for Best Hard Rock Video, which Metallica wins with Until It Sleeps. Tupac, now done presenting the award, got news of the threat made at the bar. Immediately, Tupac went over to confront the group Jungle was with, asking who made that threat, prompting Jungle to say, "I said I'll take one of y'all chains. It's Queensbridge in the house." Quickly, Gaddafi stepped in, pulled out 2 razors and said, "It's Death Row. I'm here to die. What's good?" Next, Napoleon jumped in and got behind the upset group. Security grabbed Tupac and took him away. Both parties started exchanging words. Then, Suge stepped in.
Hey, man, you see how shit can escalate so motherfucking quick, though? Like, man, something so small could turn into something so major.
Yo, that nigga, let's get back to what we came here for. Then both parties went their separate ways. Now Nas is done with his performance and sees the aftermath. Asked Jungle what happened. Jungle told him Tupac's crew was about to jump him. Now upset with the thought of his brother getting jumped, Nas calls all his goons from Queensbridge to link up in case they meet again, prompting almost every goon from Queensbridge to get together, heading to the award show to represent. Tupac's California Love video was nominated for Best Rap Video against LL Cool J's Doing It, Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise, and Bone Thugs and Harmony's The Crossroads. Unfortunately, Tupac didn't walk away as a winner that night, with the award going to Coolio.
That's right, Compton in there in the house.
The award show is finally to the end. Tupac and Snoop sit down for an interview on the way out. Finally done with the roles in the award show, Death Row is back into their limos, heading back to their hotel. On the way out, Tupac meets with Eric B, talks to him about how they are establishing a new label called Death Row East, about his One Nation album focused on unifying everyone, to show there's no real East or West Coast beef. Eric B liked it and wanted to link with Tupac and planned to meet up at the after party. Now back at the limo, for whatever reason, Tupac no longer felt the urge of going to the after party, preferring to do his own thing. Arriving back at the hotel where the rest of the 100 Jersey goons was waiting, Tupac was surprised by how many people Fatal brought with him, jokingly saying, "I told you to bring but not this many." Now, as the king of music, feeling obligated to show them a good time since they came here in defense of him, Tupac decided to take them all to the after party. Him and Suge had a van full of Death Row East shirts and decided to have everyone put them on.
Because if y'all remember, Tupac actually wanted to leave Death Row. He was ready to get on from Death Row though. But Suge came up with something as far as him having Death Row East and being able to run Death Row East. Like Suge will take care of the West Coast and Pac will have the artists on the East Coast. Because even though it was an East Coast West Coast beef, Pac still had his influence on the East, and there was a lot of East Coast artists that still fuck with him though. You know what I mean?
Then, randomly, a bellhop of the hotel kept asking Suge, "Where's the party at? Yo, Suge, where's the party at?" Tupac stepped in saying, "We don't know." The bellhop said angrily to Tupac, "I wasn't talking to you." Tupac then threatened him, "I'll have these beat your ass and strip you butt ass naked out here." The bellhop quickly settled down and got in his place. With it being such a big group, there was limited options in transportation. With the after party just a few blocks down from their hotel, Tupac decided for everyone to walk, and everyone then lined up behind him, with him leading the way. On the way while walking down the New York streets, they were giving money to fans and poor people they'd come across. The event was at Bryant Park in Manhattan, which is a big area with little to no security, just a bunch of celebrities having a good time. The event was full of stars. Some of Tupac's crew, including Snoop, split to mingle with other celebrities and associates. Making his way around the party, Snoop crossed paths with Nas' crew, who approached him and asked if he had any beef. Snoop replied, "No, that's between y'all. I ain't got nothing to do with it," then walked away. Nas now, back behind his Queensbridge army, was amped, ready to confront Tupac and Death Row about any beef. Still at the entrance, Tupac with his army was stopped for the famous interview where he said, "Do you believe in God? Believe in Death Row East," dissing Nas and everyone else he felt was against him. After the interview, they headed further into the park, now mixed with a bunch of local New York rappers, including Eric B, who was representing Queensbridge as well, warned Tupac that Nas was deep with a bunch of goons and how they need to meet together to talk it out, to cool off the tension on both sides, saying Nas is a good cat and it would be good for hip-hop if they got together. Now that everyone is at the party vibing out, the music is playing, everyone's drinking, having a good time, getting lit off that Henny. Playing loud on the speakers was Nas' song, "If I Ruled the World," featuring Lauryn Hill. Tupac started dancing to it, reciting the lyrics, throwing up West Side. All of a sudden, Nas' crew spots Tupac. Tupac now notices Nas' crew coming towards him. Immediately following, they both stormed towards each other. Only problem was, Tupac didn't bother to check if his crew was with him, while Nas had all of his Queensbridge army behind him, and they quickly surrounded Tupac. Nas asked Pac, "Is there any beef?" everyone loudly cursing, sending threats, some making it obvious they were strapped, letting Pac know what time it is. Pac is arguing back and forth with him, even though, with everyone just screaming and shouting, no one could be heard. Death Row East noticed Tupac was surrounded and quickly made their way in. Mighty Banga stepped in right behind Nas, prompting Jungle to yell, "Get away from my brother!" Though Nas had a crew of about 40 plus deep, he was still outnumbered, but most were strapped, ready to go to war. With an intense standoff pursuing, each person waiting for a sign from Pac or Nas to set it off. Then, in the middle of both surrounding armies, Tupac and Nas stepped to each other. Nas then asked Tupac, "Why you diss Mobb Deep? I heard you got a diss song coming at me too." Tupac replied, "I do. Y'all were dissing me at your shows in Atlanta and in Chicago. I heard it all." Nas said, "It's because you diss Mobb Deep and you diss Queensbridge." Pac replied, "I'll fight Mobb Deep straight up. I'll beat their ass." Nas basically said to just stop going at them because it's not even a real beef. And to summarize, Pac said, "I have to rep for the West to the fullest against anyone dissing us from the East Coast. How most of his enemies are from here, and how a lot of people are picking sides against him on the East Coast." Next, Suge Knight makes his way through the crowd to defuse the situation, telling everyone to calm down. A hyped Jungle looked at Suge, told one of the homies to pull out his gun and shoot Suge. Suge security steps in. "I don't think you want to do that." Suge now telling Nas to calm his homies down. Nas's crew is now growing impatient, ready to start the war off. Everyone still screaming and shouting threats. Realizing it was about to get ugly, Nas stepped up and quieted his people. Tupac then quieted his people so he could speak. "Remember when I first met y'all, I showed you all love." Nas and his crew agreed. Tupac continued, "We need to come together to make this money," explaining how he doesn't know who to trust since being shot and jailed in New York. To everyone's surprise, Tupac and Nas embraced, both saying, "We brothers, and let's make some money together."
And look, man, that was dope. And you know, Nas talk about this shit too, though. That was dope that them niggas was able to squash their differences. Cause just imagine if that shit would have popped off out there. That shit would have been wild as a motherfucker though, man. But it was dope that they was able to squash they beef with each other. You know what I mean? And they were supposed to work together.
Now with everyone calmed down, they make plans to work together. Tupac then told Nas he will remove his name from his diss records and told him about Death Row East and how he wants to unify both coasts to show us no real beef and just focus on making money. They both made plans to meet up in Vegas in a few days to record on Tupac's One Nation album. Now that peace has been made, everyone is starting to get back into the party, but before they went their separate ways, Tupac stopped and said to Nas and his crew, "Yo, when y'all leave here, you're going to hear a lot of shit about me. Just remember, I love y'all niggas." Then walked away. Right after, Tupac turned to Suge and told him he was going to remove Nas' diss from Against All Odds and Watch Your Mouth. The party had a section where fans could watch the event behind the barricade. Randomly, Tupac noticed a bum sitting on the street, walked over, gave him a wad of cash saying, "This is for you to sleep in a nice hotel tonight." A fan behind the barricade yelled, Pac, you don't have love for New York?" Pac replied, "Of course I got love for New York. I'm from New York. I was broke, now I'm a millionaire," and threw stacks of cash to the crowd, with his mob of Death Row East and white tees following behind him. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe for more. And also, check out some of our other videos that we have on the channel. And we appreciate all our new subscribers and hope everyone has a great new year.
Yeah, man. Hey, that right there, that just goes to show, you know, how that shit was cracking back in the days, man. Like the East versus West beef, and man, that shit was on. You hear all kind of niggas talking shit on the radio stations, you know, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me make this a little bit bigger, y'all. Man, you hear all kind of shit back then, though, man, and man, it was just sad though when Pac went to Vegas. That was the end of Pac. You know what I'm saying? End of Pac's life. You know, it's never the end because his music, you know, still lives on and is relevant today though. But that was the end of Pac's life. So look, hey man, like I always tell you guys, go check out my other YouTube page, which is Best Way to Smoke, spelled with the number 2. And over there, you know, I do a podcast with the Cuzzos, C Pop and Serpo Jr. You know, we get into a whole bunch of different things, a lot of different topics. Also go to the website at www.bestwaytosmoke.com. You know, we got merch, we got information and all that good shit, though. And stay tuned and stay tapped in with me right here. Until next time, 900 Radio. Is that right?